So hello everybody, this is Touching the Void number 4, I think. We are speaking to Shima today, who I feel you use your imagination to all the things you do, and a bit of like mantras to help you get into the void. Okay, Roxana had her hand up, then it's gone. So we will discuss.
By mistake, sorry.
No worries. So we're going to discuss how and what you do to get into the void, and that means different things for different people. So do explain what it means for you, and we'll just take it from there. And Shima's got a lot of things to get through, so I think if we let her tell her story and let it unfold the way she's prepared it, and then leave some questions for the end, that would be really good. Okay.
Hi guys, and this is Shima. So just a little bit of background about myself for those who don't know me. I'm coming from the religious background and the culture. So that comes with lots of fear, lots of cultural disbelief, lots of self-doubt. So getting to the word for me, it was a really scary thing, like leaving my body and imagining that some wandering ghost is gonna possess me, or genie in my culture is gonna come and just like wandering around me. So it was really scary. And I remember a few times that I jumped out of my meditation because I felt the presence around me, and it was terrifying because of those cultural beliefs. So for me, touching the void, it's a self-discovery journey. It's about how Dr. Joe always says, everyone touched the void, in my opinion, but the question is how long you stay there, how long you can be in that blackness, which I call it black canvas. If you're into painting, the canvas for you, and it's for you only, what you want to paint in that. So staying in a void for as long as possible, it's what I call it, touching the void. And for me, how long I can stay there and what kind of tools I can use to stay there, it was touching the void. So what I prepare is the tools that I use. I explain them, and if we have time, I'll give you a couple of examples how I use those tools in the specific situations. And this is me, and it helped me, and I hope just one or two of them help some of you out there staying longer in the void and paint your own destiny. The first thing for me, if the meditation has an introduction, Dr. Joe introduction, it's a must. I always listen to the Dr. Joe's introduction, if that meditation has it, obviously. For me, introduction, it's like a mini seminars, it's mini workshop, and it helps me like a primer, like a foundation. So when Dr. Joe explains, I'm telling my body that what we're expecting to do, how we're going to do it, and while Dr. Joe is explaining, I'm actually practicing at the same time. So it's just like I'm preparing myself, my mind and everything, that what they need to expect. So the introduction always helped me, even before the London event. So the London event for me, it was a big moment. Like before the London event or after London event, that's a timeline for me. Before the London event, that even the intro helped me a lot. And now I'm looking back at that time, I realized that I actually had the time being in a void, but I was terrifying to face it, and I was coming out of void. So introduction.
Hey.
Vale,
Yeah.
pues con un poquito de aguacate y cebolla y un poquito de atún.
Thank you. So the second tool that it really helps me, it's the time that when the Dr. Joe instructs us to feel the body right at the beginning of the meditation. So I scan my body at the same time that Dr. Joe says. I scan my body and I feel that if I have any tension, like let's say I have like a bad posture or I have like a pain somewhere, I'll talk to that part and I say, relax. Like it's exactly the same timeline that Dr. Joe says, feel the body, I'll do that. I'll scan my body. Like recently, I was telling to Mona, like a month ago, I realized that when he said sit up, I'm sitting up like this, so uptight. And I realized that I have so many tension. I give so many tension into my body. And then that makes the meditation more uncomfortable rather than something more pleasant. So I realized that. And as soon as I said to my body, relax, my whole body dropped down and I felt more comfortable in the sitting position. So that's really helpful as well. When you feel like you have pain or you have tension in somewhere around your body, whatever position you are, you can just like directly go to that section. And while Dr. Joe instructs you, you can tell that part, relax, command the body, tell the body what you want. And then you can see that the openness, the feelness. So these are like, each step of these for me was challenged. Getting rid of these was helping me to stay longer in my meditation. And then like me not doing any meditation to do 5 minutes and now I can sit for 2 hours, it's because of these tools. So it's not necessary that you have to always to listen to Dr. Joe. Yes, you always listen to Dr. Joe, but at the same time, listen to your own body as well and go with your own feeling, your flow as well. So whenever you get rid of all these obstacles, the next time get easier. So the third one, I remember the third one that I was listening to one of the testimonials, and it was the lady who was struggling with having a baby. I think it was that one. And then Dr. Joe was telling her to pull that fear, that not good enough. I don't remember exactly what she was struggling with, to pull that out of her mind. So I used that for lots of my meditation, and it was really, really helpful. So let's say that I had this fear of leaving my body and going to the void. And when we were doing this breath, I saw that fear like a sphere, like a smoke or like a blackness in my lower center. And then when we were pulling the mind out of body breath, I was pulling out that fear out of my body and then release it into the space or universe. So I got rid of lots of unwanted pattern in my body and in my behavior or belief system with that pulling mind out of body. But it's not just one mind, but every time I go specifically to specific things that I want to get rid of. Let's say I had a issue with the not good enough. I'm not good enough. And I'm not saying that I'm 100% perfect, but it's a progress. I'm much better compared to 6 months ago or 7 months ago, or even 1 year ago. It's a massive difference between the Shima I am now and the Shima I was back in then. So pulling the mind out of the body, if obviously the meditation, most of the current meditation, they have this pulling the mind out of the body. And I know lots of people have a problem with this breathing, but just play with it. Don't look at it as something really difficult. Play with it. See which part is your struggle. I remember I was stuck in the second center right at the beginning in London event. And the third day, I had this profound experience that the volunteer, the green hat volunteer, told me I touched the oneness, I touched the divine. It was a blissful moment that I didn't want it to come back. And what helped me was on the third day, I realized that when we do the breathing, the pulling mind out of the body, I was stuck at my second center. And I started asking the open question, why is that? What is it? Why I can't do it? It's something that I wanted to know, something that, okay, this is the problem and I want to get rid of it. What is it? So what I did that moment, that before the pulling out of my mind out of body, getting better at it, what I did was I used this Ho'oponopono, if I'm telling it correctly. It was 4 phrases. What we call it, I'm sorry, I go with the order. I always go with the disorder. For me, it just makes sense because of the negative energy to the positive energy. So I went to that second center and I said, I'm sorry, whatever you are, I don't care. Whatever reason you are there, I don't care. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. I love you. Thank you for your service. That's helped me massively, massively. So ever since I use it for the 3rd chakra, 4th chakra or center, and lots of other parts of my body, I use these phrases. And I wouldn't say they are help me to get where I am, but they are the tools that help me to stay longer in the void. So it was an obstacle that I wanted to get rid of. It was, I'll give you an example. We were having this Zoom meeting with lots of people, and it was my time, and I talked to the people, and I realized that the guy was using lip balm, and it made me irritated, and I couldn't understand why it got me irritated. And then I saw lots of people that talked before me, got lots of heart, lots of flowers, lots of cheerful congratulations, but I didn't get any of those. And it made me so angry. So I stayed there and I asked the open question, what is it? Why am I so irritated? Why? So I ask this question whenever I don't understand and I want my true inner self respond to me. I ask the open question. And I went to the meditation. And I was into this void. And I realized that this feeling, it doesn't let me to get to the void properly, and it keeps kicking me out because of that monkey mind and that irritation and the comparing myself with other people, why I didn't get acknowledgement, why I didn't get 100% attention. So while I was there, I just used these phrases. I said, whatever it is, I don't care. I love you. I'm sorry, forgive me. I love you. Thank you. And then I saw my inner child. And I remember clearly that I started talking, like it wasn't me, but it was me. So there you are. It was so well hidden in my behavior, in my belief, that I actually didn't know it was existed. It was the inner child that it was always looking for acknowledgement. It was always looking for a praise from my parents, from my teachers, and I didn't get those. And I always was running and running and running, trying to get to that perfection, to that 100%, so I can get all the attention to myself, because I didn't have that. And I completely forgot about it. So as soon as I saw those images that like coming up, it was like something massively opened up, like, and then the next thing I remember, I was some weird places, like weird places. I was inside my dog's body, if you believe it or not, and I could see myself in front of me, but I was inside the dog's body, and I could see that I'm patting, like Shima is patting the dog, and like I have this enormous love for Shima. I had this unconditional love for Shima that is patting me. And I was thinking to myself, like, wow, if my dog can love me this much, how can I not love myself this much? And then I jumped into my partner's body, and then I was seeing myself through my partners. Like whenever I was frowning to my partner, how his heart was shrinking. I could feel that shrinking in the heart. I could feel that sadness. And I was thinking, wow, if my smile, if my happiness can make me this happy, how does my partner will feel? So that's the void that I'm talking about. Because I've got rid of that blockage out of myself, because I acknowledge that hidden inner child somewhere in me, it helped me to get to see this beautiful experience that I don't even know how long I was there. But when I came back, I was wet, like I couldn't stop my crying. So these 4 phrases help me a lot. And whenever I feel I'm stuck, I use these 4 phrases. I see myself like I'm a queen of this kingdom. My body is my kingdom, my country. So how a good governor, how a good king or queen we expecting to take care of the country. That's what I want to do for myself. So I'll go to the less privileged part of my body, let's part that like get less attention. So now I'm to the point that from the tip of my nails to top of my head during the day, I say thank you, just like I think Mona said that, thank you sunshine, thank you for pain, thank you.
Oh, that's lovely.
I use that a lot. So I use that rhythm for like, thank you toe, thank you chin, thank you eyes. I'll use that for all of my body, because that's what we want from a good queen. And we are a queen or king of our own kingdom. So just getting that acknowledgement, that's another tool that helped me a lot. And the other thing is, when the doctor just takes us to the heart, the heart center, feel the heart, how the heart is, that part, what I use is I see like a heartbeat, the heart is beating. So I see that the heart beatings, and I try to bring my full attention to my heartbeat. And then when the heart is beating, I see the circle around me, like the circles start getting bigger and expanding. And I see myself zooming out, like from my chair, and then I'll zoom out, the circle gets to my room, and then it gets to my whole house, and then gets to my neighbor, and then it gets to my street, to my county, to the city, and then like country, and then I'm out of the whole earth, and then I'm in space, and then back. That's another one that helps me a lot. But I couldn't get in there right at the beginning. But I got rid of all those challenges and blockage that I am able to do this. It's those monkey mind, those unwanted thinking, or just like blockage or behavior, or all those beliefs that we need to get rid of to be able to stay longer and longer and longer. So now I am good at, so I can get there with zooming out with those tools that I said earlier. The other thing is really helpful for me, like whenever these like chatting monkey mind comes, like say, oh, you forgot to make your dinner, like I have to go and do this, like I remember that I have like all sorts of memories. You have no idea. Some of the pictures and the memories comes from like God knows nowhere. And I'm thinking like, how did I come having this like memory out of nowhere? And it's the playing of the mind. It's just the mind that's trying to playing tantrum. So what I do is sometimes when I'm lazy, I see like imagining this silver line or row from my navel to that text message or that job or that project, and I see a big scissor and I'm gonna cut it like shh, the dismiss. I'll think about it later. That's what I do. Just like I remember, like sometimes in the early starting meditation, I was like shh, 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 because there was lots of thinking coming up, like lots of thinking. So that was really helpful as well. The other thing is it was a massive big aha moment. It happened in Brighton when we had this NCS course with Nick. And I remember we were talking about the abundance and manifestation. And I asked, so I have this image in my mind and I want to get there and I know what I want, but I don't see it. It's like, how come? Like, I wanted to know what is it that I'm doing wrong that I don't get that what I want. And then
shall I just say, this is what happened. I was there as well. Shima was saying, I want to travel, I want to go on holiday, and I want to do more of these kinds of retreats and events. And Nick sort of stopped her and said, hang on. Where are you? You're at the beach, so you're on a holiday, and you're doing the type of thing that you wanted to do. Then you said like you had financial worries, and he said, well, you've paid to come here, so clearly you don't have those and then Shima just went, oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah. So that was my big aha moment, because it made me to think that I don't actually pay enough attention to the journey, and I'm so fixated on the outcome. And that moment I realized that because of that big momentum that I had at London event, that beautiful experience that I had in London event, I was so fixated into the outcome that it has to be this, it has to be like that, because I tasted it and I thought, okay, I should get there, I have to be there, and it exactly needs to be that because I know what it is. But that moment, it made me realize that it's not about the outcome, it's not about the ending, it's about the journey. That's what always Dr. Joe says, it's a journey. And the side effect of that journey, that blissful self-discovery, is that healing, is that manifestation, is that beautiful mystical experience. And I realized that I had so many beautiful experiences and void and blissful. Yes, it wasn't like that, but still like that. The dog experience, for example, it was profound for its own way, but the self-discovery helped me to realize that, but without thinking that, okay, I have to get there, or I have to get this specific shaking. So these are that, I'm not disclaiming anything, anyone should do this, But I stopped reading people's experiences, to be honest, because I realized that I keep comparing myself to people. I keep like thinking, oh, how come I don't get that shaking? Or how come I'm not like that? How come I don't see this? How come I don't see that? So I stopped it. It's not about comparing. All I want to learn is learn about me, how I can create my own life, how I can create my own destiny. So why should I compare myself? Like my childhood, my parents keep comparing me to lots of other people. So I'm doing it exactly to myself. So stop it. Just enjoy it. And I remember one of the meditation, it was clearly came to me that it was this feary thing. I had this fear, and I was talking to myself like, so I don't have a fear of death. I don't. I'm not scared of dying. And I was talking to myself saying that, okay, how come I'm not scared of dying, but I'm scared of going to void? How come? What is it that I'm really scared of? And then I remember that I had this inner conversation. It was about just be, let it go, have fun. Just imagine you're in Thor Park, you're in a wonderland, and you're riding a, I don't know, you're riding a roller coaster. How exciting and accelerating it can be. Just enjoy the ride, let it go. And then I was like, ooh, gone. So what I'm saying is, for me now at the moment, what I got to this point is I see it like a video game. I see it like a, I'm sure most of you play the Candy Crush. It's just a game, playing, learning how to modify yourself, your move, your thinking, your behavior to get better for the next level. So if for any reason you cannot pass that level, you're trying to change your move, you're trying to have more tools, like from the knives, like Mortal Kombat, for example. You have a knife, you end up with a big gun. So that's what I'm doing. That's what I see it. It's a video game. It's a game for me. Okay, I didn't get to like the place I want to get. Why is that? What did I do wrong, and how can I make it better? Okay, I got to this point, but like, for example, I got to half a meditation, but from the half meditation to the end, my mind was in the kitchen and cooking all sorts of dishes. Or I was so hungry that I needed to go to eat, or I needed to go to the bathroom. So why is that? Why did I stop in that side? What was the major thinking? What was the thinking that was surfing up? Okay, like let's say like also I recently had a disturbing memory surfed up, like really disturbing memory. I remember that I've been abused, child abused when I was younger, and it was really disturbing. But whenever those images were coming up, I was thinking, okay, whatever it is, I'll deal with that the way you want to do it, however you want to do it, and I forgive and I love, and then I move on. Past is past, and what I want to have a create new future without those past. So I've just got rid of those past. So these are the things that really help me, and that's how I play around with it. Sometimes I use all of them, sometimes I use just one or two of them. Depends with the situation, depends with the days.
Shima, you've frozen. Yeah, you've frozen. Okay, you've come back now. Are you okay? Can you hear us? No. I think she might be logging back in.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Oh, sorry about that. I don't know what happened.
You froze for a bit and then looks like you logged back out and came back in again.
So yes, sometimes I use all of them. Sometimes I don't use at all. I just go in there. Sometimes two of them is helpful. Sometimes none of them is helpful. Depends into the situation really. But I don't discourage myself. I just look back to the meditation and look back to the pattern and see what is it that I want. What is it that I need to correct? What is it that I need to modify to get to the good position, good meditation? I don't want to say good meditation, to the whatever I want the next time. So those are my tools.
So I love the way you say when you're conscious that there's something you need to work on, it comes up for you and then you have a tool. So you're almost looking at your blockages, your limiting beliefs, your things that are holding you back. And then once that's gone, it's gone. It's like looking at a rope thinking it's a snake, and then you realize it's actually not a snake, it's a rope, and that's it. It then doesn't affect you. And then you open up, and it's like peeling an onion, you open up a new version of yourself to yourself. So you're going deeper and deeper each time.
Exactly. But I have to just add something here. Some of the behaviors or belief system that I had didn't go away that instant. It took like weeks or months to work on them, but I worked on them.
Exactly.
Because as Dr. Joe always said, I didn't want to take them into my future. I didn't want to have those beliefs for my new Shima, I would say. So some of them, yes, they're gone. Some of them, they started resisting, but still I see it as as I said, as a game. Like, okay, these tools didn't work. What can I do next? How can I make it better? And then stay longer inside the work. And lots of people in this journey helped me, to be honest. I have to add, like being in a community, especially Mona's group, it was a massive help, because before that I was feeling really, really lonely, and I didn't have anyone to talk about. I didn't have any comparison. I didn't have any, I always say it like same language, but in a spirituality or in a Dr. Joe's language, I would say, like, I can't tell, like, I was in my dog's body to anyone else outside this community. Otherwise, they think I'm crazy. But I feel safe here. I feel I can be myself because of this community. And being with like-minded people, it was a massive help as well. And the other thing that other people, like lots of friends that I found through the community, their input was helpful as well. Like when you talk to your friends and then she outlines something for you and you think like, oh yeah, right. It gives you an aha moment. So I had lots of those aha moments because of these communities. And one of them was not seeing the pain as a pain. And that was a really good lesson for me as well. And she was telling me, Karen, actually, I have to give a credit to her. It was Karen. She told me, like, pain, it's not bad. And it's actually kind of helped me to see, okay, this pain that I have for any reason, like I have this pain in my shoulder. And even though I talked to it, I did lots of and used all of these tools, it didn't go away. And because I was looking at it as a pain, I didn't look at it as a compassion, as a loving being, as something that needs
attention.
Attention, yes, exactly. I was just so focusing on the pain, on like, this is pain and it has to go. No, this pain is there for a reason. I got sick like a few weeks ago, like really, really sick. Like all the symptom was the COVID, new variant COVID, but it wasn't COVID. The COVID test was negative, but I had everything, like all sort of flu, like a really severe flu, including vomiting and diarrhea. And I remember that as soon as I start talking to myself, like, okay, this sickness is a good thing. I'm detoxing my body. There is something in my body that wants to get rid of. So I tried to change my mind, seeing that sickness as something good, actually. Okay, and I remember something else as well. Say you have to be careful for what you wish. And I was wishing, like, I wish I could stay home for 2 weeks. And then the universe said, your wish is my command. And I got sick and I was in bed for 2 weeks. So that's the funny thing. I wasn't specifically like a Brighton. I wasn't specifically saying that what I really wanted for my 2 weeks. I just said, I wanted 2 weeks and I got it. But instead of being discouraged, I was looking at it as a good opportunity. I was saying that, okay, this is my body and my body is trying to get rid of something inside me. It's a blessing. It's a detoxification. And I remember that, like, as soon as I started feeling that, because I had lots of resistance, like I was like this and like coughing, and I said, as soon as I said that, my body got relaxed and I had like a really, I'm sorry, I had a really massive vomiting, and then after that I felt really good. It's just something left my body.
Okay, I'm gonna open the floor. You've done, I think you've done all of your tools. Yeah, okay. So I'm gonna open the floor to any questions. Got some nice comments in here. So people are agreeing with you that they compare themselves to others, wanting something to happen right now to manifest your dreams. 100% community is important to doing the work for me, Denise is saying. So do we have any questions on the tools, how she uses them?
No.
Hello, Shima. This is Lola. Thank
Hi.
you for being here, and thank you so much for sharing all this. And thank you, Mona, for hosting this. Shima, when you have a limiting belief that you realize it's a limiting belief, but it keeps coming back, like, or something that you have aversion for, how do you transmute that? How do you transform that? Because it keeps coming back, like, you were saying that you were cutting some of the connections. Is that like energetic connections, also with thought patterns? Is that the tool that you use mostly? Thank you.
Well, it depends. Some of them, as you said, the first instant they're gone, like with cutting cord. I see it like a cutting cord. Sorry. It instantly gone. Some of them not, as you said, it was keep coming back and coming back. And then one of the other tools that helped me, it was that whatever you are, whatever that belief is, let's say like my parent told me that I have to get married before having sex, for example, or like you are going to hell if you don't get married, or whatever, those kind of things. So it's, first of all, I would say acknowledge it. I would acknowledge them. Okay, this is a pattern. I see it as a pattern, like before I didn't know it's there. So this is a pattern. I see this pattern. How can I get rid of it? I ask the open question. Sometimes the question when I ask, like as an intention, the answer comes to me in the meditation. I wouldn't say it comes straight away. Sometimes I need to work on it because some of the patterns or the belief I had, it was so rooted in me from my childhood, from my parents and my culture. I'm coming from a Muslim family and really conservative family. So believe it or not, I had lots of patterns and beliefs. So asking the open question, it was one of the things that really helped me. Having the compassion, like some of the patterns, it came with the emotion, the anger, or the resentment or hate. So trying to change those patterns, trying to have a compassion for my parents, for example. Okay, you are the people who made me this. Instead of being a victim, I understand you are coming from the same background. You didn't know anything better. I forgive you. So what I do, not during the meditation, but it was one of the tools that I'm using a lot, and I talked about it a lot in writing as well. What I call it is a mirror effect. Whatever situation it is, doesn't matter what, I see it as my mirror. Like, let's say that belief, I see it as a mirror in front of me, and I see it, I'm talking to me. Why is it? Why do you feel like that? Why do you feel anger? Why do you feel resentment? And when I get the answer, when I realize that why I feel those, and then change it is easier. As Dr. Joe always said, when you know why, the doing it gets easier. That's one of the things that I use during the day with different situations. There's a mirror effect. It was really helpful for me. Cutting cord, yes, definitely, but sometimes it's not working. But I would say just play around with it. Just go with your own gut feeling, I would say. Feel every time. Say, if you feel better, you know you're one step closer. And then you can build on that. It's just how you build the momentum. All those momentum, it's really important. Okay, I feel better today. So that means I'm in the right track. So I'm just continue these tools. Okay, no, I don't feel good. I'll just go with a different tool. I hope I answered your question.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Very helpful. Thank you. Thank you.
I think, Shima, you don't just do this during your meditation time as well. You pull it throughout the day. You're thinking about things throughout the day. It's not just the 1 hour that you do your meditation.
Yeah, definitely. Well, now, definitely, for sure. It wasn't like that at the beginning. Now I'm more observer. I'm observing my day. I'm observing how I'm. So on a side note, I have to say, it goes back to that, how we have to keep our vibration high. And then that's what always Dr. Joe says, you have to be the person you want to be in your daily life. It's not just the meditation that you want to be like this, it's just during the whole day and how you want to be and act and behavior. So I started to pay more attention to my diet, for example, to my behavior, to my anger. So when I get angry, for example, with my partner, I ask my question, okay, why do I feel angry? Why? Why is it? Why is it that you like, I feel crap, for example, at the office? Why do I feel like resentment with this co-worker next to me? So I keep asking, as I said, an open question. Why? What is it? Where do you want to go? Like, I'm talking to a best friend, but I am my best friend. I'm talking to myself as a best friend. Okay, what is it? What do you want? Where do you want to go? What do you want? So these are really helpful during the day. That like makes me more observant. Okay, I am angry because he didn't do this, and then I'll start this like a conversation with my inner self. Okay, well, why is it bad? Why do you feel angry? Like because of this. Okay, but this is so stupid. Why do you need to feel angry because of something like this? It's like that's all those open questions help me to keep the momentum, and the momentum that you eventually start building up on top of it, and then you feel good. You keep yourself in a higher vibration. And when you are in a higher vibration, you know that when you go to your meditation, you have a really lovely experience because of the higher vibration. That's how always Dr. Joe says, like the feeling is one of the ingredients, really.
I love that. It's like I say, what are you doing the 23 hours that you're not meditating? Shima's telling us what you need to do. And the more you do it, the more it comes up for you, and your triggers are your best friend. As they come up, you've got like a tool set of things to do. I'll try that, I'll try that, I'll try that. And it moves you forward. It's beautiful. Are there any more questions? No?
I would like to ask, I've been meditating for a long time, but I have a super analytical mind, and I'm constantly checking if I'm in the void. So I go a bit on the right, a bit on the left, and then I get moments where I'm completely gone. So, but then I comment, oh, I'm not going far enough. So I don't know. I would like to know if you have this sort of observation of the distance you have to go into the void.
Oh, definitely. Like the monkey mind is always there. Even now it's there. Sometimes it's more louder, sometimes it's more quieter. But at the beginning, it was like, as I said, I was so fixated on how it's supposed to be, like the outcome, that I forgot the whole journey. But as soon as you realize that all those thinking that coming, just observe them, see what they want to tell you. They are there for a reason. They are there to show you what you need to work on. That's my belief. That's how it helped me. When they coming up, it said, okay, they are there to show me what I need to pay more attention to, which part I need to focus on. So write those thinking comes, write them down. If you forget them, write them down. See what they want to tell you. And you find a pattern. When you find a pattern, you know which one you have to work on, and then work on them. Instead of focusing on the void, whether you are doing it right or wrong, just think for yourself, not for an outcome, for a journey. Just let's say you're driving and you want to go to the beautiful countryside. Are you just gonna drive there, like straight over there, or are you gonna enjoy the scenery around it? Are you gonna stay for a cup of coffee or tea and see the beautiful flowers out there? So void is the outcome, it's the ending. Yes, we wanna get there and we will get there, and we are always getting there. As soon as we close our minds, we are in a void. We all know that. But how long you're staying there, it depends to how much you get control of your mind, how much you become a master and your mind become a servant. That's my thought. Like, don't afraid of those thinking. If they're cutting, cut the, like, let's say they're coming, cut them with the big scissor, like cut, and say dismiss. If it doesn't work out, just listen to them. Listen what they want to tell you, what they want to show you, like how my inner child showed me, like I was yearning for attention, for appreciation, for acknowledgement. And then I went to the void right after I clear up that one. Just listen to your thinking, why they are there, how you can get rid of them.
Yes, sure. Thank you
I'm
very
sure
much.
they're gonna help.
Thank you.
Just before we have any more questions, if you're in my group and you've been helping with healing Salma, Mitzi is doing a session for her after this call. I've put the Zoom link in the chat, so please do copy it if you want to join and help with Salma's healing. She's not been able to attend the healings when we do them in the morning. She's quite elderly and she's quite frail, but she's going to be attending hopefully this evening. So do join her, Mitzi, if you want to. And we'll be doing a meditation as well, probably about 5 minutes past 9, if you want to join us. But...
Oh, thank you very much, Mona, for your support, and thank you very much for everybody for your support. Thank you. Yes, I'm doing a meditation soon, shortly after this. So hope we see you soon.
Okay, thanks, Mitzi.
Yeah, definitely.
More questions? So I'll ask you a question. How long before, or how much time before you starting to do meditation and you starting to get a regular amount, like you can feel comfortable that, yes, I'm in the void now. I know I'm in the void. What was that time frame? Did you just start meditation with Dr. Joe in August, or had you been doing it before?
No, I started with Dr. Joe from 2017.
Okay.
And started with the YouTube channel, and then I was so caught up with him that I got a book, Changing the Behavior and the Meditation. I was in a void back then, but I didn't know after the London event, when I talked to other people and hearing the experience, that I was actually inside the void. And I did have experience with just the behavior. It was a body part. I don't like the water one. I feel suffocated, and I need to work on that.
Okay, when you're in the void, what does that feel like? For you, it will be different for different people, but what does it?
It's always different. It's never ever same. Sometimes it's like a complete blackness, but with lots of beautiful, like a shining star.
Oh.
And it's always like a tunnel. It's like I'm sitting in a fast, like a really super fast train, and I'm going through this tunnel, and the tunnel is like circle, so it's like a wormhole or whatever you want to call it, and I'm going through that. So as soon as this I'm in there is this like a tunnel everywhere. I see different images. It's like from my past life, from my multi-dimensional. I see all sorts of images, and it comes like
Wow.
Yeah. Sometimes I see like a dancing, like that's one of my recent discovery. It's like a dancing between the light and the shadow. It's like a Sufism dance. So it's like
That one like that.
yeah, but it's circling,
Yeah,
but it's like I'm an instrument. I'm singing with my whatever, with my signal, and the wave is dancing with that music, if it makes sense. I see sometimes pattern. Until recently, it was mostly black and white or gray.
Mm.
I recently started seeing the lights, like a beautiful, what do you call it? Like a vibrant
Blue.
No, it's you know the highlighters. They are like there is a word in English. I don't remember.
Iridescent.
Yes, or something like that, but in like a purple, blue,
Neon.
neon,
Neon.
yeah, but really unusual purple or unusual green or blue, and then there's sometimes they mix with each other. It looks like a rainbow, but it's not a rainbow. So it depends, but the color recently started. It's just a fraction sometimes, but I'll take it.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. So at the beginning, it was really, really short being in the void, as I said, because I was really scared if I leave my body, something's gonna possess my body, or like this wandering ghost without body is coming, or genie is somewhere there to suffocating me. But most of the time at the beginning, it was blackness, complete blackness with the dots, like a stars, but from really distance. And at one point, I remember I started the present moment before London. I started having this movement, the fast movement through the tunnel, and then the shines, those stars started coming like a line, like
Yeah,
coming with that.
had that once. So someone's asking, how did you get over the initial fear of going into the void? And someone else is asking, do you mean when you see the colors, you're in the void? No, you were in the void before the colors. The colors are just a new thing, right? So how do you get over the initial fear of going into the void?
I said that, I think it was the roller coaster experience that the fear going to the void, it was for me, as I said, the fear of like unknown, I would say, right at the beginning. So going to the unknown, coming out of the void after like a second, and then, okay, this is it, and the next time 2 seconds, and this is it, 3 seconds. But I had that fear until like 4 or 5 months ago, that I eventually had that experience that I said, it was just this inner talking to me, like, you don't have a fear of death. Why do you fear of darkness? Why do you fear of blackness? Just looking like, what is the bottom line? That's the question. What is the bottom line? I'm gonna die. Okay, fine. What is after that? Nothing. So why do you scare? You don't scared of the like height. You don't scared of roller coaster. You don't scared of this. Why do you scared of this? So I was just talking. It was this talking that I was having with my inner self. And then at that moment when he said, just looking at it as a roller coaster, and I said like, wow. And then I dropped my guard, I think. It was just the release. It was something that I think I made it so big for myself out of nothing. I made it so fixated of those fear that I had from my childhood, from my family, my culture, that I dropped everything. It's like, whatever, I'm just gonna die. If I'm gonna die, fine. And then I went, and then that's it.
Wow.
And I remember clearly the message. It was just be. Just be. So if you believe you are a creator of your life, if you believe you are your master of your destiny, if you believe you are light and divine, you don't need to be scared of yourself. You don't need to be scared of seeing yourself in a mirror, but not the physical mirrors, the actual inner mirror. Why do we have so much fear to face ourselves and see our vulnerability? So those are the questions that really helps.
Beautiful. Thank you, Shima.
Thank you for making this space for me. Thank you everybody for being here, listening to me. I hope even just a little bit help anyone out there.
Thank you. That was really lovely. Very nice. Thank you.
Thank you, guys. Thank you so much for your time.
Okay, this is the same link that we use for our meditation. So if anyone's staying on, we're doing Sync to a New Life. And I'll give you 3 minutes to have a break and come back, and then we'll start. I'm going to stop the recording actually. Oops.